Okay, part two of this project. I'm now going to try and fit the new tyre to this rim, which uses the two oppositely placed security bolts. I've cleaned the rim up with a wire brush and fairly coarse emery to get all the sort of stuck on perished gunge from the old tyre and corrosion off it, to make life easier fitting a new tyre. And I've also removed a load of insulation tape that was wrapped around the rim and fitted a proper rim tape. And I'm keeping one of the security bolts in situ, and I've got the rim tape over it. And what I'm hoping to do is fit the other one after I've got the first bead of the tyre over the rim. I'm hoping that I'm going to prise up the rim tape and get the other security bolt underneath it. So let's see how it all works out, shall we? Lay the wheel over this way to start with. This is a very weak mix of washing up liquid and water. Probably be frowned upon by some, but it does work, and I've not seen any ill effects from it to date after years and years of using it. We've got no rotation to worry about on this tyre. Here we go. Get some of this on my fingers and just sort of smear it around. Should make life a bit easier. And of course it dries out anyway. Right, let's go for getting the first bead on, shall we? And if I offer it up from this side, like I say, I should be able to keep the sprocket away from the bulk of the work I'm going to have to do. Right, tripped over my own kneeling mat there. 101 uses for old settee cushions. Right. Got to put the tyre lever in this way now. Just about there. Right, now what I've got to do is get this bead on the other side of that security bolt. Shouldn't be too difficult. Right, we're over that one. Now usually when there's no security bolts involved, or if they're disposed differently rather than opposite each other, I might have the inner tube inside the tyre when I offer it up. But I decided it'd probably be a lot easier if I get the tyre on first and worry about the tube after that. So the next thing I'm going to do is try and get the other security bolt in now under the rim tape. There we go, let's see. And if I can get this one in without any fuss, from then on it should just be fairly sort of normal matter of fitting the tyre in a normal way. I would hope. Let's see if I can do it. Very carefully I've got to prise the rim tape up here, hold it up out the way a little, hopefully it won't break, get the other security bolt in. Probably better going in from this side here actually. Let's see if I can do this. This is where a good selection of swear words could actually come in handy, but I'll try not to. Right, well, we're inside. We've got the rim tape out the way. Now that's just gone down to the bottom. What a surprise. Right, obviously what I need to do is get this down to the bottom, isn't it, folks? Let's see if the rim tape, the security bolt rather, will follow. Yes, it will. Now then, this is where I need very strong, very thin, and very long fingers. But I'm afraid I haven't got them. Let's see if I can help matters along here with this. Let's try not to hurt myself too much. It's actually flipped upside down. This isn't going too well. Right. So much for that idea. Get it out again. Try something different. Out you come. Easier said than done to get the thing out. Right, here we are. Right, put it in here. If it will, let's see. There, right. Now, rim tape over it. And all I have to do is get this over that. I'm open to better ideas. Don't forget to leave your comments. Anyone who can do it better. But I'm hoping to get this thing on here in a moment. Press that right down. Here we go. Right, we're over that one. Now it should be easier to get over this one. Right. Get the nut on that next might be a good idea, and a washer to stop it making a bid for freedom. Right, now what I can hopefully do, push it up out the way a bit. Not keen. we are. Right, I've got it out the way. That first bead, I hope we're seeing that. The first bead is positioned properly and both security bolts are in place. So next, our valve hole. The rim tape has just moved a little bit. I need to get it back over the hole in the rim tape for the valve, back lined up over the valve hole. Right, I've got that there now. So I hope to be able to fit the inner tube. Got a new one here. I'm just going to put a small amount of air in it. Just that much so it can assume its shape that it needs. Right, let's try and get this inner tube in. More often than not, I like to take this nut off and just leave the washer on the inside, but I think it's going to be a bit of a fiddle, so I'll do it the way it was actually intended. Leave that one there. Might make life just a little bit easier. Just get enough tube in either side of the valve, just to sort of have it held roughly in position, and hopefully I can get my hand in and tuck the valve stem in through the hole. Yes, I can. Right, well, get the nut on quickly then, Paul. That's not the nut. God knows what that is. Chipping or something. Ah, here we are. Here's the nut. Just screw the nut onto the valve stem a few turns for now. It's a good way to work up a sweat on a clammy, supposedly summer's day. There we are. Now then, what I need to do next is just make sure that the tube is positioned over those security bolts nicely. Probably take the valve core out next, blow air into it, let it sort itself out, orientate itself a bit. So we'll just get the valve out. Don't want to put too much air in it at this point because it'll just seat the security bolts, and I don't really want them seated just yet. But I just want to make sure there's no ripples or twists in the inner tube as well. That'll do that. I'll back the valve stem nut off again. I'll be levering this bead on, starting at the security bolt that's on its own, and working my way around to finish at the other one and the valve. Let's give it a go. I'll use my stuff again all the way round because it's more of a challenge when you've got these security bolts in the way anyway. Any help you can get yourself, you might as well get it. Right then, so I've got one tyre lever here, one here. That should be well out of the way still, I hope. Let's see. Need to get that out of the way a bit more if I can. Now I know there are probably heroes out there that could do this all with their bare hands and so on and so forth, but I'm not one of them. So I'll use tyre levers, thank you. Just going to get this bead to duck behind that security bolt. I think it's about to go. Yeah, it's finding its way in now. Right, turn the wheel round this way. Might have to help that bead go into that security bolt a bit. Gonna need that underneath it. We're nearly there. Not far to go. But we need this tyre to drop into the, get the bead of the tyre to drop into the well a bit more. Last leg of the trip. One more perhaps. Get that out of the way if I can. That's better. It's free to move. Hold it in. Feed goes under it hopefully. I'm not quite home and dry with that one. Just need to lever this out the way a little again. Get the tyre security bolt up behind it. We possibly can, of course. That's it. That's got it. And now we can see about maybe offering the tube its first shot of air. I'm also going to have to plug the compressor in. Right, I'm back, the compressor's on. So we get a bit more air into this. Looks alright so far, so good type of thing. Let's see. Trapped a little under that security bolt there. Another blast of air now. That's got that one. So we're nicely seated on the one side, got a little bit to sort out here. There we are. That's the tyre seated correctly all the way around. Now I can fit the valve. I'll get my pressure gauge next. I'm going to aim for about 20 psi in this one, I think. Nice compromise for on or off road. It's always nice when you get this far and you don't hear any hissing. There we are, I've got about 23 in that, that'll do. Stem cap on. Now all I've got to do is tighten the security bolt nuts down and I'm done. Obviously I'll wipe off any surplus of this washing up liquid and water mix. Actually a larger size, 14mm even. I'll come back to that one. Let's get this one. Yeah, this one's an imperial size. So that tyre security bolt with the bent stem wasn't beyond reuse after all. And we've got a proper rim tape in there now as well, rather than sticky tape, insulation tape. If we're still filming, I'll just nip back and get my 14mm spanner just to finish that one off, and then that will conclude the job. That one's done. Back in the boat. Now get the other one. I don't think you need to tighten these things like you're tightening cylinder head nuts, but you want them pretty firmly done up if the security bolts are going to do their work. There we are, I'm done there. I'll just give it a quick wipe down and it's good to go back on the bike. Job done, and I hope the camera got it all, because I'm not going to go through all that again for a retake. There we are, sorted. All I've got to do next is the front wheel, which will be a walk in the park compared to this one. Seated evenly all the way around that side, as we are on this side, and no hissing noises. That'll do for me. It's a little too early for a beer, so I'll probably settle for a coffee. Job done. I hope that might help some people out, and of course I'm quite prepared for people to tell me that I did it wrong, or I should have done it like this, that or the other, but nevertheless it's done, and well within the 29 minutes that this camera gives me in one hit, so I'm happy with that.